hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow. I've been caught in the undertow. Toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin that I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, so sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Know that I need you, why?
Wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks, I'll beat it down. I've crossed the line just to tell you, don't lead the way, don't even say that I try with a child's play in the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
I am in misery.
Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones, I'm losing it all. Stuck in my head, I am in misery. Deep inside myself, all I get, my only family. Stuck in the grave, can someone rescue me? I'm burning alive, I got it, I am in
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am, of course, the shaky-voiced OLED Ed Fries, and this is, of course, the Natural, the Hollywood Astrid, the Nastral, all the wonderful nicknames, the queen of our local establishment. I even remembered that one this week. Astrid, how you doing today?
Forget. Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, doing a little bit better. The internet seems to be holding up, so we'll see what happens. This is probably going to be a shaky episode of NXT Taking Over, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We've got some friends in the chat already. Logan is in here saying Giulia, Bayley, and Roxanne. He thinks that Giulia's going to pin Bayley. Maybe. I think Roxanne takes the pin in that one, to be honest. Although I don't think that's the final match. I really don't. I think it's a fatal four-way, and I think Cora Jade's taking a pin.
Agreed.
We've got the Ogre Lord himself in here saying, hello, my friends. How are you doing this evening? We are doing fantastic. We watched a fantastic episode of NXT where NXT took as Vic Joseph, Booker T, and Corey Graves all made the joke in the first 5 minutes of this show. NXT took center stage.
Yeah.
As if you don't remember, this was taking place at the Center Stage Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. I love this venue. This venue feels like Full Sail. It feels like WCW Saturday Night. So for those that don't remember WCW Saturday Night, and I'm glad Bobby's here for this, Saturday Night was the coolest wrestling promotion show that ever aired. One, the wrestling matches were kind of garbage. But the great thing was the ring was on this spinning platform. Yes, old school WCW Saturday Night. It had a spinning platform. So like as the match would be happening, the ring would just be like slowly turning the whole time. It was fantastic. I loved it. We are indeed in Atlanta, which brings up all of the old WCW feelings for me. Not for Ashley, because Ashley didn't watch WCW.
Ah.
But
That's fine.
yeah, no, I definitely did that. I don't think Cora Jade is going to be taking on Masha Slamovich at Vengeance Day. I really don't. I think that gets set up much later, and I think it gets set up for something in March. I believe NXT announced that there's a special taping taking place the end of February, beginning of March in
I thought it was I thought I saw the
in some
26th,
place.
but
Yeah, but it's that window right before TNA comes to Florida. So it's like a perfect little window where Masha goes there and then she goes on to Florida. I mean, it's fully adopted by all of us except Astrid, of course.
I know
no,
I heard that in the interview now, and that didn't help me at all either.
No, it did not help you at all. But no, I think Cora Jade in action this week, and you can catch Astrid and Mark and potentially Brett's opinions on that this coming week on Making an Impact this Friday.
Yes, sir.
I was there last week. Because as always, I am the permanent fill-in host for Making an Impact.
You are, yes. I wasn't feeling well, so trying to find the date, but I thought it was February 25th or 26th, but I can't find it now.
Probably. That sounds about right. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. They're going somewhere at some point. It's fine.
Oh, here we go. 25th. I knew it was one of the 20s.
Yeah. So it's literally right before TNA comes to Florida.
No, after. That's what I'm saying.
No, they come at the end of the month, right?
They come the 20 and the 21st to us.
Oh, okay. So even better. They do the Full Sail tapings, and then they have the show where that's where Masha takes on Roxanne. And Cora. Not Roxanne. The moment she recognized the candidate of the Truth Center for Free. She was indeed recognized by multiple people in Canada. Hey, SCG watched the full show tonight. I watched on Netflix because I invested in a VPN this week. I'm a very happy boy. I realized I could buy 2 years of a VPN, and I won't say the name until we get the official affiliated status. But I bought 2 years on a specific VPN, and it's going to cost me less than 1 year of Peacock.
Dang.
I'm already saving money. It's fantastic.
Nice.
I also get to watch NCIS from the beginning without having to get Paramount. I get to watch all kinds. VPNs are great.
It's on Netflix here too. I just got the alert.
No. There's only select seasons on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I can go all the way back to season 1 to the current episodes on CBS. Yes, Mr. VPN Edward Fries. And again, we'll have more VPN news for you soon. Not tonight, but soon when we get that affiliation link. Is it me or is Giulia more over when they leave Florida? Yes, because the crowd in Florida is old. Point in case. No, I just think it's that the crowd in Florida is probably just less of a New Japan crowd, less of a Stardom crowd. And the more they travel, the more those fans will travel with them to different areas.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see her at all in Lowell, so I can't tell you whether or not she was over in Lowell. I can tell you Isla Dawn was over in Lowell. And pre-incident, somebody else was over in Lowell, but she's not over anymore. No, you keep saying this. Let them be. They have years to do this. They don't have to face off in the Royal Rumble. I also don't think Giulia is in the Rumble, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't. I think that there are a multitude of other surprise entrants that are going to be in that we're not going to need the NXT Women's Champion this year. I think you get Cora. I think you get Masha. I think you get Roxanne. And you probably get Lash in the Rumble.
Maybe Jordan.
Well, no, Jordan is a WWE superstar now. We don't have to worry about her being a surprise.
I know, but still, she's probably going to be part of it now.
Yeah. I think Jordan's going to be the Iron Woman this year. I think they're giving Jordan the Iron Woman. I think she's eliminating like 8-9 people. She's not breaking the record, but she's coming ever so close to breaking that. But again, we'll talk about all this as we get to the Rumble because, we're not Rumble people. We're NXT people, and we've gone 10 minutes and we haven't spoken about NXT at all. Bayley and Giulia versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade opens the show. Banger. This was a banger. This was great.
Really
I liked having Netflix for this because when it went to commercial break and it was a straight commercial, I got to watch more match.
Yeah. Show off. No, this was really fun. I'm glad to see that the women being so focused here, in NXT, because they not only opened the show but they main evented the show, including people from the main roster.
And they were also the mid segment too. They were the third segment that crossed hours too.
Yeah.
So the women, the 3 women's matches were opening, dead middle of the show, and end of show.
And I feel like tonight, especially, they didn't disappoint me at all. I love the way they did it. I feel like either way, the opener, the main event could have been either way for me. So when I saw this as the opener, I was like, shoot. And this is the first time we get Bayley since 2020 being there. This is the first time Naomi's there in such a long time since the NXT competition days for her. So I love seeing this. This was such a fun match. The chemistry that Giulia and Bayley had, it made me feel something. It's like I wanted them as a tag team, but I know that probably won't happen for too often. But they look great together, though. I feel like everybody had great chemistry here. They did great with the timing wise too. They played off of each other so well. Like I was just paying attention to what was happening without even taking notes of the moves or anything like that. I was enjoying the match, and again, this was really, really well done. I think one of my favorite parts definitely towards that ending because Giulia, I think she headbutts Cora, if I'm not mistaken, and then the elbow to Cora. I was like, we know this is the reason why she was in the match to begin with, and she ends up getting the pin.
Cora is there for pins easily. It is. It's the great thing about having a friend who's not as famous and popular as you. They get to eat a lot of pins for you. Plus, you can't beat Roxanne. You can't beat Roxanne until Giulia beats her again. Yeah. It's just that simple. But no, this was great. There was nothing wrong with this match. It was the perfect opening match. It went probably about as long as it needed to. I didn't need more of it tonight. I need more of it in general, but I don't need more tonight. It had just enough time. They told the story they needed to tell. They got in, they got out. I liked it. Eddie Thorpe is playing with fire again. He's out by the fire pit, keeping warm in that cold Florida snow. We have plenty more show to go. We have plenty of show to go. And I have plenty of haterade. Eddie Thorpe is out by the fire again. Oh, hold on. She might be here. Hold on. Eddie Thorpe. Hold on. My internet's lagging a little bit. Is the picture up for anybody else? It's not up for me.
It is, yeah.
Okay. I can't see it, so I'm just going to assume that it's there. Eddie Thorpe's right there. There it is. Now he's up for my screen. That tells you how long my internet's going. He cuts a basic bullshit promo. I put myself in the NXT title picture. You did. We don't want you there, but you did. He talks about his people, which again, I love when he talks about his people, but I don't understand what his people and his actions have to do with each other. They don't correlate. They don't go together. Also, he's still wearing the strap and they're focusing on it. Like they focused on one, like the last lingering shot is of the two loops of the strap. And I'm like, why are we setting up a strap match when the rest of the show sets up everything but? All right, bye-bye, Eddie Thorpe.
I feel like they definitely could have done without this promo because it feels like almost like it almost makes you feel like they're gonna add him, but at the same time, what the rest of the show goes, they don't mention him whatsoever. So it makes you feel like it's out of place at the same time, if that makes sense. So it just made me feel like, why is it doing this when we're setting up over here and Trick and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, but then no mention of Eddie whatsoever? So it's like, what is happening here? That didn't fit with the rest of it.
Is it crazy to think that they're setting up Stand and Deliver? Is the Stand and Deliver match Eddie Thorpe versus Oba Femi in a strap match? Is that your men's world championship match at the WrestleMania level? Stand and Deliver.
And that better not main event. I'm sorry. No.
No, it won't main event because they've learned.
Have they?
I pray they've learned. I pray they've learned. We then move on to something much better, which is the Grayson Waller effect with Oba Femi. Austin Theory is incredibly over in his hometown of Atlanta. We got a comment. Hold on, let's go back here. Two guys, not Eddie Thorpe. Oh God, how do we explain this to people who are here every week? We bitched for months that we needed more Eddie Thorpe. We've now been given more Eddie Thorpe, but unfortunately he's in the main event and we're like, fuck this Eddie Thorpe guy. Right? That's the best way we can put it, right?
I mean, that's the best short version of it, yeah. It's like, we
This
wanted
was
you on
before
TV.
my
We
time.
just didn't want, but we didn't want you this way on TV.
There were weeks we went on rants about how they like feature Eddie Thorpe and then he's gone for like 4 months and then he pops back up. He's almost as bad as Aaliyah, where they would just take Aaliyah and put her in a closet and pull her out for a show and then put her back in the closet again. But on good things, Oba comes out and talks about how much he's accomplished in his 2 years in NXT and compares it to the nothing that was accomplished by both Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in NXT. A-Town Down Under, however, retort and go, while maybe we never won the NXT championship and we didn't win a bunch of titles here in NXT, we won the tag team championships last year at WrestleMania. And Austin Theory goes on to say that he's been in 4 WrestleMania matches. I think he forgot the match that happened in the COVID Mania where he filled in for Andrade and Angel.
Hey, I will forget that too. COVID era, it's that pandemic time. It feels like I forget half of what happened.
Yeah, go remember this. He was in a stable with Angel, Garza, Andrade, and Zelina Vega.
Don't remind me.
What was that?
Don't remind me.
That's what it was.
Yes.
They say, we've done all this while you were upstairs in the box with your kid, with your NXT kids having your juice boxes last year, which was good. I like that. That was funny. The crowd starts chanting, "Turn on Grayson, turn on Grayson." And they play into it by Austin Theory turning his back to Grayson. Oh, I loved it. It was so fucking good. And Grayson Waller plays it and he's like, "Don't you turn on me. Don't you turn on me." And he turns, oh, I loved it. It's so stupid, but it's just so me. Like, it was, again, this whole segment was like, I wrote the segment. It was great. We then get to Oba saying that Waller's lips write checks his hands can't cash. And he goes, "Look, I'm going to challenge you guys at Vengeance Day. One of the two of you can take me on. I don't care which. But somebody who does care, her music plays, and in a bit of bad form on Austin Theory's part, he says, and I quote, "Whose music is this?"
I didn't recognize it either.
Yeah, that's not good when you don't recognize the music for the general manager.
Yeah.
That group was fake LFI. It might be. It might be. Oh, the pandemic era. Gotta love it. There's some good stuff in there. Ava comes out and says, Oba, you don't make the matches as much as you think you do. You don't. Meanwhile, while all of this last 5 minutes is going on, they have this split screen with Trick Williams in the back watching. And I love that. I love how he's standing there watching, getting more and more irritated as the segment goes on, to the point where Ava gets ready to start coming out and he's walking to the ring. And they shoot him the entire way to the ring. And it's great. And Trick comes out and he says, he tells Ava, that's my title shot. And then he walks to the ring and he gets in Oba's face and they stare at each other. And then Theory and Waller try to attack and he whoops both their asses. And then he gets a fall from grace from Oba Femi. Perfect segment. No notes. A+.
And his selling. His selling after this too, because right after this, when they tell us, oh, his match with Wesley is next, and he's still selling the fall of grace, fall from grace on the mat as that is happening.
I mean, she's still new to it. I understand the point, and I agree with the point that she's not really a strong GM. But at the same time, come on, guys. She's been our GM, and she's been assistant Ava for almost a year now. Come on. We got to know who Ava is when her music plays. And more importantly, if you're a talent in the ring, don't fucking say it if you don't know it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very much. He mentioned something about the indie wrestlers too, like selling T-shirts or whatever, and I was like, "Oh no, here we go." I forgot what the line was.
I love Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I think it's great. More importantly, I love that you could see Grayson getting visibly irritated with the crowd as they chanted for Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing to sell the idea that Theory's going to turn on him at some point. It's great. I mean, like I said, Grayson Waller can go at it with anybody on the microphone. The big thing here is that Oba Femi held his own. That's the most important thing to take out of this, is that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory both can handle anybody on the microphone, with the exception of Theory and John Cena. And Oba Femi stood his ground. He looked good, and he looked competent in that ring compared to the two of them, which is really all you can ask. We then get Sarah and Izzy in the Eagle's Nest talking about Tony D'Angelo. And she's like, look, I don't like Tony D'Angelo. I don't deal with Tony D'Angelo. It was just a happenstance that I happen to need to help him out, yada, yada. And Ridge Holland comes out, and he's like, no, it's all your fault. And she's like, no, I was only out there because Tony helped me get rid of the stalker guy that was chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, Stacks comes out to start some bullshit. And I'm like, oh, great. Great. Tony D'Angelo versus fucking Ridge Holland is still going. Great.
Yeah, not a fan of that part, to be honest. I like that, even though Izzy answered first it was nothing, and then she said she was helping him because of her problem with Sean Spears. But I didn't give you that hint of there's more to this and it's not over either.
Oh, yeah.
But also Rich coming in here, and I was like, Rich versus Izzy, book it. I know it's not gonna happen, but it's like I just wanted to hear that on as I saw it.
I'll book it in GM mode in 2025.
So seeing that, I was like, yes, I like at least that there's a confrontation here. It's not gonna go unnoticed because she's a woman, and at least he's confronting her about what happened. and Stacks coming in there so quickly to do her defense. I was like, I like this too at the same time, but I was like, oh no, this Rich thing with the D'Angelo's gonna keep going, isn't it?
I don't know. SCG says this segment was awkward. I don't think so. I think Izzy did great. I just think that it was Ridge makes everything awkward. Like, no, if you take Ridge's comments and put them on any other talent, it makes a lot more sense and it doesn't feel as odd as it was. It was like, it's just about that it was Ridge standing there confronting this poor girl that made it awkward. And like I said, I just don't like the fact that it's going to continue. Like, that's the only reason why I don't like it. I love that Stacks came out to her defense. And I think it's a Stacks Izzy kind of duo, like taking the D'Angelo family from Tony and having it like be like a little thing. That could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if we're going to do that, should it be Ariana?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the Rich part of it, because I feel like if it would have been anybody else, it would have been a little bit different. And I don't know if maybe the angle didn't, that probably didn't help either, because they have to go through the crowd to, like, Stacks had to get through the crowd to get there as well. But I think aside from that, it really worked.
We'll have more on this soon. There are things there are things in place this year. We've got some things a cooking. Don't you worry. Oba walks into Ava's office. He doesn't knock. She goes, "Really? You can't even knock? Like, just knock on my door, please." Oba's like, "Look, okay, you want to make the matches? Fine. Make the matches. Who am I facing?" And she's like, "You're facing Grayson Waller." And he's like, "Great, Grayson Waller." And she's like, "No, shut up and let me finish. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory." And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. You need both of them to at least give him a challenge.
And I feel like it was funny too, because at first he's like, "Okay, we're done," and he's about to leave, and then she says, "And the second one," and he like gives it a moment. He's like, kind of like, it feels like almost like he's doing the math in his brain, and then he's like, "That's good," and then he just leaves anyway. And it just sounds funny because like most people, or like most characters, would have given you like they were intimidated by having two people against them, but he like made it like more like that kind of reaction of like, two bodies against me, sounds great, more people for me to beat up kind of thing, and then he just leaves. I feel like his facial expression in that part of it was really great too.
Yeah, he did a great job here. It continues this character that we have with Oba Femi. He doesn't care if he has to face multiple challengers. He's fine. He just wants to know ahead of time that he has multiple challenges to face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like we said the other day. The last, when he attacked Eddie Thorpe, it was the first time he did anything heel-ish in his entire heel run. But he's absolutely a heel, but he never does the heel things. Like, it's like, instead of being the shit heel, like, "No, I can't take on two guys at once," he's like, "Fine, whatever, fuck it, I don't care."
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's booked as the heel against Trick, and he's a babyface against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. He is the epitome of a tweener.
Yes.
We go to commercial break. Ava storms into a men's locker room, and some of the guys are very unhappy about this. They're like, hey. They're all fully dressed, though. Like, if you're going to do that, you have to have guys, like, half naked or with towels on or something. Like, you can't have guys fully dressed and then be like, "Hey, she walked into my locker room." Like, you gotta pick your line. Either people are in states of undress and there's a reason why she shouldn't just be walking in, or they don't give a shit if she just walks in. Anyways, she's mad at Trick. Oh wait, did I skip the Trick Williams versus? I did. I skipped the entire Trick Williams versus Wesley match because I'm like, she's here to confront him about the things that happened at the end of the Wesley match. I'm like, wait, we didn't talk about the Wesley match, did we?
I didn't realize though.
Yeah,
notes.
because normally Ashton corrects me when I miss an entire segment. She's like, "Hey," in the private chat on this channel, she'd be like, "Hey, you missed the match. You know, you missed the segment. Go back." She didn't even notice.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't notice. I was like literally just scrolling through and I was like, "Okay, we did this, and that. Okay, next." And then I just jumped to the next part.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about the Ridge Holland thing, and then we skipped right to Oba being in her office. We forgot entirely about the match that happened.
Uh,
Which is funny because this was a really good match.
yes,
It's
that
not a
was what I'm
forgettable
looking for.
match. I love this match. I love Trick working as an injured babyface. I loved that Tyson kept trying to get involved and Tyreek kind of kept himself out of it. I like that Trick was whooping so much ass that he threw the referee out and got disqualified. Like, I loved everything about this match with the exception of one thing. One thing. Wesley's shitty fucking hair. I still hate it. The fucking little curly cues and like the reddish blonde bullshit. No, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, man. Wesley's
But
hair.
the hair
pissed
wasn't
me
part
off.
of the match, though.
It's on Wesley's head. It's part of the match.
And that, I guess, is the Meteora that he
Also,
did to
I
him
Papa
on the
Smokes.
commentary. On the commentary table. Oh my god. He shaves
So
it
I
too.
have a sensitive scalp, so I have to constantly keep shaving my head so that I can sleep at night. Because if I don't, it's painful. Anyways,
No, I was gonna say the Meteora that he did to him on the commentary table, like that was nasty. And like you said, it's like I like the fact that the continuity here that we get from the fall from grace to the match, and you still see a Trick even before the match is starting, still selling that even as it progresses, and it changes from the injury to him being frustrated about the situation that he's in, and he takes it out on Wesley and everybody else in the match, and it's like that progression there was really well done, and I just enjoyed it so much. I love having him come in and taking the chair and causing that DQ is something that you don't see happen often from a babyface. And the way he did it, it wasn't because he was cheating or because he wanted to, it's because he's so frustrated that this is the only way he can let it out, and he did it. So it's very interesting seeing that, like that character kind of switch a little bit there from Trick.
yep. Like I said, I loved everything about this match. I'm sad that I skipped it because it was a really good match. The Meteor was fantastic. Like I said, I love the idea that he was kicking so much ass and so pissed off that he throws the referee out of the way, and that's what gets him kicked out. That's what DQs him. That's what's the fall off from it. That's the cool thing about this is because there's something I'm going to mention later on in one of the other matches. There were 3 matches where person A is injured, work the body part the entire match ends. It was fine in this match. It was fine in the women's match. By the time I saw it the 3rd fucking time, I wanted to throw something through my fucking TV. Now we get Oba Femi in Ava's office. We get Ava storming into the men's locker room to yell at Trick about throwing the referee. Ask him what the hell he thinks he's doing, and he goes, "Look, that should be my match." And she's like, "No, the triple threat match is set." And he goes, "Well, what the hell have they done to earn this title match?" And she's like, "Well, if you don't think that they've earned it, go ahead and face them next week in a tag team match with Oba Femi." Oh no, can they coexist?
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, but that question from him, and I'm like, it's very valid. She's like, what did they do to earn it? And then she's like, oh, what? Like the way she asked him about it, I was like, they haven't done anything to earn it. What do you mean? They were just in a segment with him. That's all it took. Really? That part, like that question from her, didn't make a lot of sense either. It's like, if they would have had a match tonight with him, then I would have been like, okay, I get why you're asking that. But just having one segment, that part I just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I did like the fact of like when we thought the same thing when I saw that. I was like, oh no, the coexisting storyline again.
I also want to say I'd still much rather watch Austin Theory, Grayson Waller versus Oba Femi than Trick versus Oba Femi again. I'll be honest. I'd much rather see the triple threat than Trick versus Oba.
And I feel like it'll be a good opportunity to show off Oba and how he is, especially with 2 people from the main roster. When he beats them, he's gonna look even better. You're muted.
There's no ruining the VPN if I throw something through my TV. I got it on my smart TV. I got it on my computer. I got it on both of my phones. I'm good. I'm good. Yes, I have 2 phones. I have a phone that I use specifically to take notes for NXT and to watch stuff while I work. So I have the VPN on that so that I can watch things that I've been watching in my bedroom on my computer. No Hollywood Ed.
Yes.
We leave Hollywood to Astrid. OLED is just OLED. That's all it is. All right. We get Shotzi versus Fallon. Astrid, I'm going to let you take this one because I have some. I have.
Oh no. Well, I was gonna say I did enjoy the match, and I'm glad it wasn't long either because I feel like this is one of those matches I was fine with the time frame for it. I didn't need a lot of time either. I did like towards the beginning that we do get Gigi and Tatum taking out Chasey and Jasmine, so it's like at least we get it doesn't feel crowded at ringside. We get that one-on-one there, and I did like the fact that Fallon as a heel, and it's something I really like when heels do. She focused on the leg. Once the leg was that injury spot, she kept going and focused on that leg. And the way she did it on the post, and then the chop block that she did later on too. And I was like, I love when people do something like this. It's like when you find that weak spot and you keep working it throughout the match. And it did make a lot of sense happening there too. But again, no surprise, Fallon retains. We knew this was gonna happen because it's gonna be her and Stephanie, and this is when we go. So Stephanie's getting that championship. So yeah, I did like the fact that she doesn't even get to celebrate, and she's standing on the top of the ramp, and Stephanie's right behind her, like, I'm next, and I can't wait to face you. And we get the announcement that it's them going against each other, Vengeance Day. Yay!
I like this match. I thought this is a much better match than Stephanie versus Shotzi. I thought Fallon is a much better base for what Shotzi does. I like the babyface in peril with the injury angle. Again, in the second match, it worked again because it was only the second time tonight we've seen it, not the third time tonight we've seen it. Also in back-to-back-to-back matches too, which really irritated me as well. The biggest confusion I had from this entire match. Why is Jasmine wearing the fucking mask? Why does she have the face mask on? Wasn't it JC wearing this mask like 2 weeks ago?
I was trying to remember, and I still can't.
We've got Big Nick jumping in the chat. Hello, Big Nick. Thank you for you're a new name here, but I believe I've seen you on Twitter doing some stuff. Well, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. If you haven't followed us down at Our Local Establishment, go ahead and do so. We're at Olay Podcasts on all the social media platforms. And you can go ahead and find us on YouTube and on Twitch at Our Local Establishment, where we have all kinds of wrestling coverage. We have all kinds of pop culture coverage. If you like it, we probably have a show for it, including music interviews and music video reviews. We've got Marvel shows and Marvel reviews. We've got the Mother Tucking Post show with Auntie and Jose, where they talk all things RuPaul's Drag Race. We have Sunday mornings where we talk about the NFL and soccer for some godforsaken reason. There's an F1 watch-along coming for some godforsaken reason with Mark Talks. I don't know, all kinds of crazy shit here. Make sure you're watching the calendar every single week. And speaking of that, before we move on to the next segment, we're going to play the calendar so you all know what we've got coming this week at Our Local Establishment.
Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin that the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, I'm sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Know that I need you anyway.
Yep. So that's what we got coming up this week. Will says Stephanie looked like a killer coming up from behind. Yeah, it definitely had horror movie vibes like you can catch on Killer Cuts the next time we get a nice horror movie that Astrid and Bobby can talk about. But yeah, we find out that it's Vengeance Day. It's going to be Stephanie Vaquer versus Fallon Henley for the Women's North American Championship.
Yeah.
Speaking of the women, they're still taking full focus here as we got Kalani doing her makeup in the back. And Carmen walks in and Carmen says, thanks for helping her. And Kalani goes, what are you talking about? I didn't help you. I wanted to hurt Jada. And speaking of that, you got to listen to me. You got to listen to Jada. Like, you're delusional. And it's not even about Ashanti. You're just delusional in general, you dumb lady. And it's so funny. She's like, the words I have is, it's only a matter of time before he leaves your ass. And she just walks away. And then Carmen takes, like, literally in her, you can see it in her eyes. She was told to count to 5 and she did it on her fucking face. You can see her counting to 5. Such a bitch. And I'm like, oh, we got the bitch word. We got the Okada word. We got the Okada word. Oh no.
See, this was awkward. This is very awkward.
Yeah, this is stupid and dumb, and we're getting a match because of it next week. I'm like, fine. Like, fine. We're not gonna linger on that comment. That was a joke. We're not gonna linger on it. But yes, he does get paid millions just to say the word bitch. But anyways, it was a dumb segment. I don't like it. I hate it. The match will be fine, I guess. Like, all right, it's a filler match next week. But again, next week's the go-home show for your pay-per-view. And you're giving us fucking Kalani versus Carmen? That whole show next week is a fucking jumble of shit.
No, wait. It's the show. Is that at the weekend of Valentine's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so we have 2 shows. We have the 4th and the 11th before.
Oh, shit. Okay, fine. It's fine, I guess. It's still a shit show.
I know,
it's
but
not
I was
the
like,
go
it
home,
feels
but
like
it's still a
there's
shit
a gap
show.
in here. So, no, this is something. I feel like this is just a setup of like Jada interrupting, just set up a match for with somebody, probably Kalani at this point, for probably the pre-show if they do one. So,
or that'll be on the go home show, and we can bitch about it then.
Most likely.
We get Ethan Page coming out to the ring before we cut to commercial break, and when we come back, we get Ava backstage with Sarah as they're walking and talking, and we get the 2 pieces of information. The main event for next week's show is the men's tag team match between Oba Femi and Trick Williams taking on A-Town Down Under, which will be fine. And we find out that she's about to announce what Giulia's plans are for the women's championship. When again, Roxanne comes. And by the way, they've still never paid off this fucking bullshit with how Roxanne hates Ava and Ava doesn't hate Roxanne in the slightest. And she's like, Giulia, to find out Giulia's, and she's like, oh yeah, what, you're going to make it Bayley, right? And she's like, well, no, if you'd let me fucking finish, it's Bayley versus Giulia versus you. And Roxanne goes, oh, well, that's fine. And Cora goes, no, that's not fine, and storms off.
No, and I think the funny part about this too is that while Roxanne's arguing, it's like, I should get the title shot. I didn't even get a rematch. Cora's the one that got pinned, not me. And I was like, well, shoot, like, way to bring it up for her. And then that's what makes Cora like really storm out. And it was so funny seeing the timing of that. It was like, you didn't have to remind me I'm the one that took the pin kind of response. But
when are we going to pay off the Ava versus fucking Roxanne thing? We still haven't paid this off. It's been going on since, what, Battleground? The Jordan Grace match at Battleground was the first time that started, right?
I think around that time, yeah.
Where Ava was, like, trying to take the title off Roxanne, apparently. Yeah. According to only Roxanne Perez, by the way. Ava's never actively done anything to try to screw Roxanne out of this championship. We then get Uncle Seti versus Ethan Page. This match was fine if I hadn't just watched 2 matches before this that did the exact same fucking thing that this match did. Where Ethan Page only worked on Cedric's hands and fingers and did nothing else the entire match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine, but you can't book 3 of these matches, 1 on a show, 2 in a row. Like, you can't do 1, let alone do both.
Yeah. Yeah, basically in a row too, if it wasn't for the segments, if you think about it.
They were literally, without the segments, they're all in a row. It's 3 straight matches.
Yeah.
There are 5 matches on this card, 3 of them involving working the injured body part.
Mm-hmm.
Just and it's Ethan Page, and Ethan gets the win, and then Javon comes out, and we're going to get an uncleared Javon versus Ethan Page in a unsanctioned match at Vengeance Day. Fine, whatever. Just bring Ethan Page to the main fucking roster already, or bring Josh Alexander in. One of the two. I told you, just wait. I had all the haterade for a reason.
Don't remind him that he has haterade left, SDG. That's not helpful. No, I understand the frustration, because the match is basically set up to be very similarly all in a row, or 3 of them. And I feel like, for example, even though I enjoyed Fallon and Shotzi, and maybe that one could have been without it, in the Ethan and Cedric one, it made sense because it's part of the story that's been going on for a few weeks now. So that one makes more sense that it happened there. The Trick one makes sense because of the continuity between the segments. If the segments have been on a different order, perhaps, then it would have been a little bit different as well. So I feel like the only one that would have made more sense of changing per se would have been Fallon versus Shotzi. But at the same time, I enjoyed the match. It's funny to think about in that aspect when you compare both things. But yeah, again, this is something that we expected. He's working the hand. It's gonna make Javon come out because it's Uncle Cedric, so might as well. So it was nothing new in that part of it either. But yeah, it is what it is.
And like I said, it's nothing against any of these matches. This is a tried and true wrestling trope that works well because it's exactly what it needs to be. But you can't do it 3 straight matches on a single show. Like, you can't keep doing it over and over and over again. Like, you have to have variety. And the only variety was the different body parts they worked. The back, the knee, and the hand. That's the only variety. That's not enough variety.
Yeah.
Speaking of variety, we get Fallon Henley cutting a promo, but except we don't get Fallon Henley cutting a promo. We get JC Jane cutting a promo on Stephanie Vakor about stealing Fallon's moment. And then Fallon goes ahead and volunteers JC Jane for a match with Stephanie Vakor next week.
The tension, though, if you notice there, though, I think that was pretty interesting because Fallon is starting to talk and she barely gets anything out before JC interrupts her, keeps talking about Stephanie. So to get back at her, then Fallon's like, yeah, then you face her next week, kind of wording. And then Jasmine's like, yeah, you'll do great. And JC's like, I didn't volunteer for this to begin with, but sure. But it's like you saw the little bit of the facial expressions here and the tension they had between JC and Fallon. That was very interesting. I was like, I really think they're going to break them up already. Or is she going to help Stephanie win so that way Fallon just and they break up? Yeah,
I'm still mesmerized by the fact that fucking what's-her-name's wearing the mask, and I don't understand why. I just
remember.
can't.
I don't know why I can't remember either.
Also, an interesting note that means nothing. For those watching on Netflix, you heard this. I told Ashton about this. They kept chanting "Eat more chicken" and chicken tenders at Fallon Henley because she wears the cow print bullshit. So it's the Chick-fil-A stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I find it a riot. She's not over it. She doesn't have good heat. She just has "we don't like you" heat. And when the crowd is chanting "eat more chicken," it's not necessarily a good thing for your character, Fallon.
No, she does better as a babyface.
This is where we get the rundown of next week's show, which it's a show, and we're going to talk about it, but Trick and Oba main event taking on A-Town Down Under. That'll be fun. We then have a women's triple threat summit, which is just going to be a brawl. involving Bayley, Giulia, and Roxanne Perez. So that'll be a train wreck of a segment. Like, it'll be fine, but it won't be great. We're getting Carmen versus Kalani. Ooh, yay! Woohoo! Jada Parker won't get involved in that at all. And then we're getting Ridge versus Stacks. Fuck my life.
And JC for Stephanie.
We think that's not made official, but we assume that match will be
Yeah.
official for next week too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, if you thought it couldn't get any worse, nope, we got an NXT spotlight on Josh Briggs and Imamura, where Josh Briggs gifts Imamura a fucking Aces and Eights cut. It's the best. I love that because I knew Ashton would get this and nobody else is going to understand it.
Oh, Aces and Eights. Oh my god, no. That was it
Basically,
for
it's like a
Brooke's wedding.
biker vest. He gifts him this black biker's vest, and it reminds me of the Aces and Eights because they all got their cuts.
Look, I was there for Brooke and Bully Ray's wedding, okay? I won't forget that.
By the way, congratulations on Brooke Hogan giving birth to a baby. I guess that's fine. I mean, continuing the Hogan lineage, so maybe a less racist Hogan in the world. Maybe, who knows? Lord knows the baby ain't gonna take the guy's name, whoever the hell it is.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. I want to do a show where me and you just talk about Aces and Eights for an hour and a half because that fucking bullshit was crazy.
I remember at the time though, it was just fun seeing the reveals when they happened. Other than that, it died down after that.
No. It was fun thinking about who could be under them. And then they had the people under them, and you went, wait, what? Why you?
Mhm.
Like Doc Gallows, fucking Mike Knox, Garrett Bischoff. Like the best people in the group.
I think
Were the
didn't
people
Taz
who
get
are
revealed
part-
during that wedding? I think Taz was, right?
Taz,
Was it
Taz was in it too. Don't you worry. Taz, Bully Ray, Devon, fucking AJ Styles. I'm sorry. AJ Styles fought against them. They tried to get AJ Styles, and it was Mr. Anderson was in it too. Oh my god. We have to do that show one day where we can just talk about Aces and Eights for an hour and how shit that storyline was. Because it's so good and so bad all at the same time.
Exactly. Oh my god.
By the way, yeah, so Briggs and Imamura talk a whole bunch of nothing.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that next week we're going to get them versus OTM because that's what they said. I thought we were getting it tonight based on the brawl they had last week, but we didn't get it tonight. So that means we must be suffering with it next week, which will get Briggs and Imamura the win so that they can take on Axiom at Vengeance Day, where Axiom will inevitably win again when they should lose and somehow go on to continue defending these tag team championships for no godforsaken reason.
Disagree.
Yes. But wait, there's more. It's 6 weeks tonight. Hi, Brett.
The timing was that right after the fans.
I know, right after we talk about Aces and Eights and TNA, Brett pops in. He's like, wait. It's like he heard the words TNA and just popped in the chat. Hulk Hogan wrestles 400 days in a year. You know, with the old schedule and the fact that they ran multiple towns in the same day, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he did work 400 matches in a year.
I was about to say 400 times, but not 400 days.
Could have worked matches. Spider senses.
I love you, Brett.
We love you. Like I said, Brett is part of the new Making an Impact show, which you can catch every Friday here. I was on it last week while Brett was there live and in person. So he's going to give you live reactions to the things that you're going to be talking about this week, as well as giving us a little bit of behind the scenes stuff with what things that might have happened on last week's show that me and Mark talked about. So definitely go ahead and make sense.
Wait, do we get the AJ Francis story live on the show, Brett? I'm wondering about
We
that
should.
now.
I don't know if Brett will tell it, but we should.
Oh no, I'll let him.
Mark
think about
tried to
it.
play Brett's video, but unfortunately there was no audio because we couldn't figure out how to get it from Discord to StreamYard. Yes, we get the story.
Exclusive.
All right.
It's not,
Yes, the exclusive on AJ Francis being a decent human being.
for once.
Hey, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
No, don't say that. Mm-mm.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
I like that one better.
Unlike him, I'll deliver. We'll see how many people are on your side and how many people are on AJ's side with that story once we get to it.
Jeez.
However, we've finally arrived at our main event. And again, you can tell how good or bad a show is by the fact that we're 55 minutes in and we're in the main event segment. These shows used to go an hour, 45 minutes when I used to go off on tangents. But no, you weren't necessarily in the wrong again. We'll let everybody else decide on their own. I think you did fine. Yes, 2 negatives absolutely make a positive, and it's great. Oh, yes. It's always better in Impact when AJ Francis isn't on the show, but he might be on this week's show. Who knows? Naomi and Bianca taking on the Meta 2. Astrid, talk about our women's tag team championship main event.
This was so fun. I'm glad this also main evented. You can also see before the match started too. Lash and Jakara looked so nervous backstage as they make their way to the ring, and it was just great. Oh my gosh, I don't miss those equations at all whatsoever. Dang. But no, this was a fun match. I'm glad that I feel like this really showed out a lot of Lash more than anybody, and it was her highlight tonight. The way she was able to like go toe to toe with Bianca and Naomi and show off herself in this match is just incredible. It made me realize how much she has grown from where she was before and how like slow she was to that fast pace that she did today, and even like the athleticism that she showed up. Yeah, I can't even begin to describe it, to be honest, but they did so great together. They did at one point, it was similarly to a heart attack almost, to the girls, and I think it was to Naomi, if I'm not mistaken. That looked beautiful to begin with. And that moment with Bianca and Lash are like going facing each other for the first time, the reaction from the crowd was priceless. That moment for them was priceless. Like having not only 4 women main event the show, but 4 Black women main event the show tonight, and highlight each other in such a way. I was over the moon. I was just so happy that this happened. I'm glad the girls had this moment. I feel like it might seem kind of, I don't want to say weird, but even with Bianca and Naomi retaining, I feel like I would have given a surprise by having them actually lose the titles tonight. Because I feel like with this match, the girls actually earned it, and I would have been surprised if it happened at the same time. But I get why Bianca and Naomi retained at that moment here still. But I'm glad there was no interruptions. I'm glad there was no Liv involved and no Raquel involved in this. That made me really happy because I wanted to be just for them, and that's it. Nobody else involved in here. So I'm glad it happened that way. But I can tell you, Lash is the MVP of this match. She was amazing. She was able to show off so much of her power, her speed, her agility, athleticism, everything. She was definitely my superstar of this match. And the chemistry they all have with each other was just amazing. I definitely want to watch it again because I was taking notes. I had to take my eyes off like things for a moment, but at the same time, this is one of those matches I definitely want to watch. If you didn't get to watch it, definitely watch it and get the opportunity to, because it was really fun.
Yeah, I loved everything about this match. I thought it was great. Naomi and Bianca retain the tag team championships. They lost, but the referee's hand never actually hit for 3, so they didn't technically lose. But that was the longest 2 count of my entire life. It's like 1, 2. Like it's a screw job without it being a screw job. Like the referee knew that he wasn't supposed to count 3. And by the way, that was the second time that happened because Bianca was late earlier in the match trying to make a save at one point. But no, I thought this was great. And again, as the #1 Lash Legend hater for years, I will come out here and say Lash is getting better week after week. Her wrestling has improved so much. I am so proud of the work that she's done because my thing with Lash was always get better in the ring. It was always, I don't like what you're doing. Please get better if you're going to be on my TV screen. When I threatened to quit NXT if she won the women's breakout tournament, It was because of the fact that she was bad in the ring at the time. And I still hold to that. But I will say I have been nothing but complimentary to her as she has improved. The more she's improved, the more nice things I say about Lash Legend. Because in reality, she could be a star. If her wrestling capabilities get high enough, she has the mouth to make it in this business. She has a look, she's unique, and she can talk. If she can wrestle half as good as some of the other girls on that main roster, she's star capable in that ring because of the fact that she's got everything else that you need. And this has now become a clip, and I hate it.
How do you know?
I know what you're doing when you do it.
I haven't done anything though.
Sure you
No,
have.
I was just snapping my fingers.
As the show ended, the girls win, Naomi and Bianca win, and we get the NXT screen goes to that like rainbow look. Hold on, let me get a picture.
Wait. Is Bobby still here? Bobby, this is your moment to shine.
Yes, we need the Ogre Lord here. Ogre Lord, if you're still here, please say something.
Oh gosh.
It's fine. If not, we'll clip it for him and we'll show it to him later.
Let's see.
However, when the show ends, we get this screen. It says NXT Live, and then it changed to Vengeance Day, which with the TNA and NXT partnership can only mean one thing: the return of Solomon Crow to NXT. Solomon Crow is back. Sami Callihan is coming to NXT to continue the Solomon Crow gimmick just for Bobby, just for the Ogre Lord. We're getting him back.
Oh jeez. Oh my god.
No, we're obviously getting a debut at Vengeance Day. Somebody's arriving. We just don't know who. Brett.
Never forget. Never
That's
forget
a
those
deep
moments.
cut for the NXT crew that have watched since the beginning of NXT on the network. Solomon Crow.
Yeah, I was like, not him, obviously, not Sammy, but I was along the lines of thinking, who has a character that is similarly to him in that way, to like that kind of like hacker, computer nerd sort of thing, because that's what it reminds me of. But I couldn't think of anybody unless it's somebody that is from the NIL program that they're maybe revamping could be. But at the same time, who would it be that they actually do something this big enough to get everybody's attention? Because people are talking about it after the show because that's how it ended. So I was like, at the same time, I really can't think of anybody.
I think it's going to be a rebrand of somebody. Jordan Grace let slip today that Jonathan Gresham's contract has ended. So while this may not be part of their gimmick, it could be a way to introduce somebody. And I could see a Gresham debuting in NXT. I mean, come on. Can you say you wouldn't be excited to watch Jonathan Gresham take on Oba Femi?
Oh, are we gonna kill him right away?
D'Angelo.
Are we killing Gresham right away? Jeez.
I mean, we can kill Gresham. You know what? At least if that's the case, at least he'll get to main event a show. Unlike his time in AEW.
He didn't do much.
Remember when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion and opened the show? Yeah. I don't think he's ever has he ever main evented a TNA show?
I think that's what I was saying. I don't think he did in TNA either.
Like, it'd be nice. At least if he faced Oba Femi, at least he gets a main event something.
Not even then. I'm thinking about the fact that thinking about his time in TNA, he barely did anything because it's his whole thing with the octopus thing. It barely picked up, and then he was off TV for a while again. He's like Eddie Thorpe in TNA. There you go. That's a good comparison.
He's the Eddie Thorpe of TNA.
Yeah, he's there, and then he's gone, and then he's back, and then he's gone, and then nothing really happens.
Pre-show purgatory. Yep.
Yeah, we're
Indeed.
adopting that name now too.
Humane versus Speedball. Did
Mm,
he really?
I don't remember that. But he's like Eddie Thorpe in that sense, though. He was like really on and off screen often.
Also, by the way, just a quick shout out here because he's here. We're gonna do this. If you are looking for AEW coverage and you want to watch along to all the great weekly shows, you need to check out our good friend Mike the Ref. He does the best AEW coverage during the shows out of anybody that I watch. If I suffer myself through AEW, I watch it with Mike the Ref on his watch-alongs. So make sure you definitely go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing that,
I was gonna say you muted yourself, and I couldn't understand half of what you said.
how much of that did I mute myself for?
I know I heard you talking about Mike, but then I don't know what you were doing after.
All right, here we go. You gave the shout out. I turned on the wrap-up show after the nap, and the first thing I see is no. I only said 2 things about AEW. I'll be honest, and most of them were jokes.
Like he's getting better at it, but it still happens, Mike. I'm trying, but not easy. Okay.
Hey, I thought my first one was a really well clever used joke. The second one was a bit more thinly veiled.
Yeah, I keep trying, you know.
And said things provoked by me. He's being truthful. I did. I'm trying to be a good boy now. I'm trying.
It doesn't need a lot of
AEW.
yeah, but you don't need a lot to get it going. That's definitely it.
No. I just need the slightest provocation, but at least I'm not doing it on my own anymore.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at you. Well, I'm looking at you so you can tell the people where we can find you this week.
I was gonna say because we I didn't get to say it when you were playing the calendar. There's also coming up a Traders season 3. I think it's season 3 post show happening after Traders is over. So if you like Traders on Peacock, if not, you have time to catch up now before we do the post show. So I warned you, it's happening. Just so you guys know. So that's lined up for whatever.
Is Nikki Bella gone yet?
Yeah, she was gone this past week.
I can finally start watching the show.
I almost cried though. It made me feel some things with the way she was targeted. But either way, if you watch Traders US to be specific, then definitely catch up now before we do the post show because there will be a post show happening. Oh gosh, SDG. But yes, it will be happening. And then I think Bobby and I, hopefully sometime soon, will be talking about the horror movie Hard Eyes. And then some other stuff, horror stuff that we're working on that is not overly related, but we're working on horror stuff. I'll give you that hint for now. But yeah, other than that, you can find me on my Twitter and Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro, my Instagram and Threads, AstridPizarro20. And if you're here, you're most likely on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I upload or go live, and hit the like button on the video too before you keep going.
Do we have permission to announce who our special guest is for the pre-show for Vengeance Day yet?
No, I'll wait a little bit longer. Just to be sure.
You can find me on Twitter at EdFries12584. If I find my way to the Blue Skies like I do seemingly once or twice a week, you can find me there at EdFries12584 as well. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002 where I simulcast all of my Marvel content over there. And we got a big year Marvel content coming up if you want to know all about that. Look back to last week's Marvel Talk with me and Andre as we went through the entire 2025 calendar. We've got a lot of going on. I'm having bad internet tonight. It is the first time in like
see what? He gets a VPN and then messes up his internet. See, that's what you get.
Well, it's because my internet thinks I'm in the UK and I'm still here in Boston. So but you can go ahead and find us all there. Speaking of great places to watch some NXT content, go check out after our show always, go over to the bodyslam.net channel and go watch DC and Amanda as they have great NXT content over there too. They are 2 of our great friends. We adore their content. So please make sure that you go check them out. DC Hendricks does great work in a multitude of places. as does Amanda, working at Wrestle Talk, working with Body Slam. These guys are great. We do enjoy their work. Oh, good God. It's not a coincidence, Hollywood Ash.
See, thank you.
Yes, I have to feed the gerbils. I'm not going to feel them, but I will feed them so they keep my internet running. Yeah, and if you want to follow, oh, no, we don't have DC. I was like, if I had DC stuff still in here, I would have thrown all the DC contacts now. If you want to follow our local establishment, you can follow them right here at Ole Podcast on all of the fancy places on the internet, whether it be Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter, Facebook, all the crap. It's all there. I think we're even on TikTok, even though I don't know what the fuck to do with the tickety talk. I was glad when it was gone, and then it was back, and I was sad. So I don't know what to do. But remember, we got all kinds of fun, fantastic shows coming up here every day of the week, seemingly right now. And remember that 2K25 was announced yesterday. I'm in the plans, working on some stuff to try to go ahead and bring a GM mode show. Now the GM mode is going to be online. Working on bringing a GM mode back to our local establishment as the last one fell to the wayside. Wrestle Draft is no more, but we got a couple ideas for a couple of names, so we'll get some stuff working on that and hopefully get you something in the near future. But until then, we are going to go ahead and send our Twitch audience to a fantastic friend of ours while we play the outro. So for Ash and Bizarro, I am, of course, Ole Ed Fries. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
I am in misery.